I've trained consistently for 2 years straight through literal wars, moving countries, and some pretty tragic life events. And this is not because I have like some insane level of willpower. I actually have like kind of little willpower, but it's because of one system, okay? And in this video, I'm gonna break down the exact system I use to stay consistent, okay? So that I don't have to force workouts and so that they actually just become automatic, okay? And so I'm gonna break it down into 3 parts. It's gonna be the structure with who I train in and out of the gym, whatever, and then how I train less hard sometimes in order to actually stay more consistent, okay? So starting off first with the structure of my workouts. What I mean by the structure, I don't mean like push-pull legs or upper-lower or whatever, right? What I mean of the structure is the specific exercises I do, right? And so for example, for myself, I've honestly like kind of fallen in love with squats. Okay, I've fallen in love with squats. Like I know it sounds like kind of weird, I don't know, but I've fallen in love with squats, right? I just really enjoy them. And then the other thing I really enjoy is simply just like weighted pull-ups, okay? And so when I do both of these, right, I just have more fun. And so the kind of cycle that I'm running, right, I mean, everyone runs this, but you're not aware of it, okay? So what this is you have consistency here. And then here you have results, okay? You have results here. And then here you have, well, like, I guess you're just like happy, okay? And then it goes like that, okay? And so when you're consistent, you get results. And then when you get the results, you're happier, right? And then when you're happier, you can stay more consistent, okay? So that kind of goes together. And so the reason I do more of these like movements, which I enjoy, it's simply like I enjoy them more, so I'm able to stay more consistent, and so I get more results, and so I'm happier, right? It's not too complicated. And so essentially, bro, I just want you to pick some exercises which you actually enjoy, right? Don't do like bench press because whoever said it's optimal. Just like figure out like, yeah, man, I actually really enjoy this exercise. And so I'm going to schedule it to do it 3 times per week, maybe even 4 times per week, right? Just because I purely really enjoy it. Or maybe I'll have a more focused phase of it, right? Just for a little bit, okay? And so simply make your structure more favored towards yourself, okay? Not by picking whatever you found on the internet, but by actually finding what you enjoy, right? This can be either by like trying different exercises, but you probably already have tried a ton. And just like simply picking them, bro, and putting them into your workout program, doing more of them, and getting super strong at them. Because this is kind of the other thing, which will kind of interlace into this, is simply like getting stronger, right? The strength is really OP because if you focus on strength, okay? So this is your strength right now, okay? Or let's say your strength is going up, yeah? Your hypertrophy, right? Your muscle is naturally gonna go behind that, okay? It's gonna lag behind a little bit, as you can see here, but it's always gonna keep going, right? If this goes up to here, your hypertrophy is also gonna go up, okay? And so naturally, if you focus on simply just getting stronger in these movements, you're also gonna get bigger, okay? And so, yeah, I mean, I want to help you, as much as possible. And so a YouTube video can only give out so much help, right? And so if you want to book a call with me, that's going to be the first link in the description before we actually move on to the second point, right? Which is who you spend time with, okay? Now, I know this sounds kind of like unrelated to consistency. Like, how does who you spend time with make you more consistent or less consistent? I mean, it's pretty simple, right? Because, you've obviously heard you're the average of the 5 people you spend more time with, right? And so if you're able to go to the gym, right? Let's say today you go to the gym and then you meet someone new, okay? You meet someone new who is ahead of you, right? He's ahead of you. And then you spend more time with that person, right? You spend more time with that person, you'll naturally become more like them, okay? And so you're naturally also gonna go progress faster. And this is one big thing, is that when you spend time with people who are stronger than you, people who are ahead of you, right? It doesn't really matter in what, but in this case, it's fitness, right? When you spend time with people who are stronger and bigger than you, you're naturally going to become more like them, right? And so you're kind of not going to have to do much different, right? Yeah, you will like learn new things, you will try out new things, maybe you'll train a little bit differently. But essentially, it's not going to be a difficult thing, right? Because your mind is kind of like imagine this is the group, right, which you want to spend time with, and these people are ahead of you, and you're down here, right, and you kind of like join them, right? Your mind is going to kind of force you to stay and become more like them because it doesn't want you to get kicked out of that group, if that makes sense. Okay, this is purely like biological stuff. And so go ahead. The action steps for this one, okay, are to purely just talk to 2 new people every day, okay? 2 new people. If you have a habit tracker, add this on there. This doesn't necessarily only have to be people in the gym. This is just where I personally find people who are more advanced than me. Obviously in fitness, this is where you'll find people, but just go ahead, talk to 2 new people in the gym. I mean, in the gym personally, that's why I do it, because it's also way easier, right? Talk to 2 new people in the gym, make friends, get their Instagram, whatever, and then tell them like, okay, let's hit a workout. And bro, trust me, you're gonna be stronger than what you were, and you're gonna enjoy your workouts even more because you're gonna find people who are similar to you, right? You're gonna be progressing, and so just like that loop we talked about, you're gonna be going ahead once again, okay? And so that's gonna ultimately feed into your consistency. Now the third one is why I sometimes train less hard than I have to, or than I can, okay? And so this is kind of like the opposite, right? Because like we talked about, right? It's consistency, yeah? Consistency is here. Then you get results. And then after results, you're happy, okay? And then after you're happy, you're more consistent, okay? And so this is kind of the opposite, right? Because if we're less consistent, less consistent can also be kind of like less hard, right? Like just training like worse, okay? Just training worse in general, right? And so if you're training worse, then you're gonna get worse results and then you're gonna be less happy. But the thing is, that's looking at it in the short term, right? That's looking at it in one day. Okay, let's say this is one day, whatever. But you wanna look at it, bro, in the next months, in the next years, okay? And so what you actually need to be looking at is your accumulated fatigue, right? And so why I sometimes train less hard is so that I can accumulate less fatigue, right? This is a concept of like essentially you accumulate fatigue in your nervous system and your muscles and stuff that you can't actually feel right now, but you're eventually gonna need to remove that somehow, probably with a deload, right? A deload is just an easy week. And so you sometimes need to train less hard on purpose, right? Sometimes I'll have this for like 1 to 2 weeks in the beginning of a block, right? In the beginning of a training block, which just means it was right after a deload, right? So I'll have this for 1 to 2 weeks where I train less hard, right? So that overall I can make more progress, right? This is gonna be more of a volume phase. And in this period, I'm gonna learn the movement better, okay? I'm gonna learn the movement better. I'm also just gonna like get better at the movement itself, right? That's essentially just learning the movement. And on top of that, I'm just gonna get a ton of practice, okay? Ton of practice while not sacrificing much muscle building, right? Because the volume is still pretty high, okay? And so we're still gonna build muscle. Yeah, so you just do this for about 1 to 2 weeks, right after your deload. This could also be like, let's say you're kind of a beginner and then you realize your strength gains are kind of going down. Then you go ahead, start a deload week, right? You just do half reps, half weights, half sets, half days, okay? So you basically do everything half and then start off with 1 to 2 weeks of like an easier, like higher volume phase. Like let's say you normally do like 3 sets of 8, right? Maybe you do your top set as 4 sets of 10, for example, okay? You can do this in tons of ways. But essentially, bro, this is gonna allow you to stay more consistent because you're gonna be able to take less deloads. And I find like when I take a lot of deloads, right, it kind of like messes me up. And so like this, you're gonna be able to stay more consistent in the long run, okay, which will then allow us for more results, which will allow us for more happiness, which will allow us for more consistency, okay? And so overall, bro, you essentially don't need to do that much, okay? It's mainly just optimize your program for yourself, okay, like we talked about. Optimize it for yourself. Do the movements you actually enjoy, okay? And then spend time with people who are ahead of you, okay? Spend time with people who are ahead of you. And then number 3 is go easy on purpose. So that's about it, bro. I really thank you for watching to the end of this video. I mean, it's not like a very edited video and it's also kind of a long video. And so yeah, bro, I really thank you, and I want to help you out even more. Okay, so I have my first link in the description. That's a Calendly link where you just go ahead, pick a time, and book a call. I mean, I'm just gonna help you out for free. If you want some help, go ahead and book a call. And I really appreciate you watching to the end of this video. I also have my free community. That's gonna be the second link in the description. So yeah, let's get it, bro. Have an absolutely amazing day.